Good. Okay, perfect. So, Aoife, I'm going to give you the app, but before I start, before you touch it, I just want to go through a few things with you. Just to say that this is a prototype, it's not the finished app, so there may be it's not the complete fully functioning app, so it may not work 100%, so don't expect anything else. Be as honest. Is it for work or?
Yeah, mainly for work, Monday to Friday.
Okay, perfect. And do you use the snooze function on that alarm?
I do, yes.
How often would you snooze?
It's at least once a day, probably twice.
Okay, yeah, like everyone else. So, and do you drink coffee in the mornings? Do you drink caffeine?
Yes.
You do? Okay, perfect. So this app is aimed for you. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is, so you've landed on the landing page. You have to understand that this app has just been downloaded.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to sign in. And you have to tap, it will put up generic information. That's not your information, but it's generic.
Okay.
Okay, so sign in.
Grand.
Okay.
So I'm at the main page. Snooze alarm. Your next alarm is tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. You were 2 days away from free coffee. Keep going.
Okay, so the next thing I want you to do is just to look at the snooze report. So this will highlight you're snoozing for, say, a specific week.
Alright, so your snooze cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so...
Switch off immediately. Snoozed once. No alarm.
Okay.
Grand.
So I want you to go back to the home page.
Oh.
Perfect. The next thing I want you to do is to look at the loyalty points for the coffee shop affiliated with it. So you can find that on the app. Perfect.
That it?
Yeah.
Grand.
So Coffee Angel.
You've earned 80 loyalty points. Only 20 more before your first coffee.
Okay.
Cool.
So just go back to the home page. So now I want you to add an alarm. An alarm for 7:30. Okay.
Grand.
And next I want you to set a snooze time
So it's snooze time.
for 5 minutes.
Grand. So that's snooze time.
Set snooze time. Perfect.
Yeah.
Great. So just for the purpose of this app, I need you to go into the loyalty account, and there you need to add an alarm just to find the alarm for this. So at this point, I'm going to ask you to snooze, to
Grand.
tap.
Tap to snooze.
But at this point, I want you to change your mind and switch the snooze function off.
So getting out of this homepage, getting out of this page to go back and turn it off.
No, at this point, it asks if you want to snooze, and you decide you don't want to snooze.
Yeah, grand, yeah. So only one more morning before your free coffee.
Perfect.
Close.
And that's it. That's the
Oh.
basics of the app. It's very simple. It's just a prototype of the actual function itself.
Looks good.
Is there anything that frustrated you, that you found wasn't clearest within this? Was the visuals? Is there anything that could have been improved, just that you work on it there?
I suppose maybe if the pages between, like, when it says add snooze loyalty, I know that you're probably trying to keep it uniform, but yeah, like the top of loyalty, I wasn't sure if I was actually in loyalty.
Okay.
Something to say maybe loyalty, like, I don't know, was that like a header? Can you do like something?
Yeah.
I know, because I was in, I was like pressing it, I was like, I know I'm in it now, but I just wasn't sure.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't totally sure I was in the loyalty section.
Yeah.
No, the adding an alarm bit is so, like, it's... Sorry, ready to...
Yeah.
Hold stop.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, yeah, no, adding the alarm was the same as, like, adding an alarm on my phone usually.
Yeah.
So, like, that was, like...
So you just have to snooze.
Ah.
So you just follows you through.
Yeah. So yeah, the adding an alarm was really simple. Like that's the same as it is in most like clock apps. So like
Yeah.
that looks really good. Seventh, yeah, that's grand. And it's like there are three options for alarms that people have. You don't want to give more than
You can add more alarms. It was
Grand.
just for the
Oh,
purpose
yeah.
of this that it was just set visually so you could see it.
snooze cycle. Yeah. And you can swipe between loyalty.
You shouldn't.
I shouldn't. Oops.
You shouldn't. So those three buttons underneath the pie chart should give you different visuals. So if you want a bar chart or if you want a
Right. Yeah.
line graph or whatever visuals it tells you.
Awesome. So
you
yeah,
shouldn't.
that's like between that time frame, how often you switched off immediately, how often you snoozed, and how often you
Yeah.
didn't use an alarm.
So you can do weekly, monthly, just to see for yourself.
Yeah. Am I
'Cause-
improving and
Yeah.
snoozing?
And
Oh,
how many more
right.
coffees are you getting?
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh yeah, that looks really, really clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
When it works.
when it works. Hey, prototype.
Prototype. That's great. Thank you very much. So just